You call it deja vu. It looks like last year. We're coming to you from Road Atlanta, but this is this year, the Speedvision Cup. We have a downpour. We have race cars. There is second place Eric Van Cleef. Eric was running in second position. He has made contact with the tire wall and is, in fact, probably hung up on the tire wall.
Well, yeah, that left front corner, that car's done. That left front corner is badly damaged. And I'm sure we're going to see a full course yellow here any moment just to get that car out of there.
Simon Gregg also spun. The 55 car continued on. There is a look at number 7. That is the new BMW Coupe, the Roadster.
Yeah, that's a Z3.
We also had a leader take a bit of an off-track excursion. Nick Ham continues in the cockpit of number 70. Now this is on tape a couple of laps earlier in the rain.
Yeah, and he just gets in there a little odd. He did a phenomenal job not to spin that car as slick as it is, and to drive it through the grass there. I mean, he only lost, well, he didn't really lose a position. That 32 car was a lap car behind him, so he didn't really lose much time at all.
But he kept the car straight. He kept the front wheel straight, and that kept the car going back up toward the pavement. Now, we have to ask, as Eric Van Cleef climbs out and calls it a day, we have to second guess the team strategy of car number 70. Sylvain Tremblay is the team owner. He is waiting to drive anchor, and we question why did he make the pit stop earlier, because looking at the time right now, he may not get points for this race.
No, he may not get points. He has to get into that car in the next 10 minutes or so if he is going to get points. So it looks like Eric Van Cleef is okay.
There is Simon Gregg in the green 55 car taking a loop down the front straightaway, and he did make contact to the outside barrier there. He got in that grass. Look out. Just does get sandwiched there.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. This was just before the 88 car went off on the front straight. So I wouldn't be surprised if the 88 car got caught up in what was going on there.
Well, you can see that we've had rain over this entire 2.5-mile course. There's a look at the car that started from the pole position. Eric Van Cleef was in the cockpit. His teammate, Goldsboro, actually started the race. Chuck had them up in the top 5 throughout the first half of the race. Van Cleef took over, was up in second position. And there is the pace car picking up the leader. We have a full course yellow, very reminiscent of last season. Now, last year, we can hear the thunder right now. Last year, we had some vicious lightning as well as some very strong winds. And Greg, can you tell us more about pit strategy for number 70?
Well, they're kind of smiling down here in a way, you know, with the car being a little tough on fuel. They were really trying to stretch it. Well, they've got a long yellow. Sylvain is standing by, helmet on. He'll be getting on board. Now, of course, he was on the pole here last year. He won last year, and it was wet last year. I asked him earlier, I said, if it rains, what do you think? And he grinned and said, we got our rains ready. We're going to go for it. This might play right into their hands. They're just waiting for those pits to open.
But we were second guessing their strategy. Looking at the time left in this race, will he have enough time to garner points?
Well, if they get in a hurry, that shouldn't be a problem, because we're 2 hours in and they've got to get, I believe, 25% of the time that the race runs in the car. So if they get in within the next few minutes, he should be okay, but they're going to have to hurry.
Well, the 96 car has had a problem. There's the front of the 88 car. Well, Calvin standing by with Chuck Goldsboro, who had this car up near the front all afternoon, but right now this race is over.
Chuck, it looked like you were waiting for the fill window there to wait and bring Eric in, and obviously it caught you out.
Yeah, Eric's radioed in, said it felt fine on the, in the wet and on the rough stuff, and he was going to try and wait for a fuel window. And what happened, there was an altercation down here, and Eric went to hit the brakes and avoid it, and, it was a sheet of ice.
Obviously a tough day. I mean, the car was running great, obviously got a lot of potential for this season.
Yeah, we're very happy with the car. It's, I think, a front runner for the season, and this was just bad luck. So our sponsors were great. We picked up a lot of new sponsors for the rest of the season. They're all happy with us, and the team's a wonderful team to drive for us. So it was just bad luck.
See you at the next one.
Thanks.
Well, coming into this race, Chuck and Eric were third and fourth in the point standings, only 1 point behind Jason Priestley and Andy Pilgrim. This was the third race, of course, of the season. And once again, we come back to Atlanta, and we are faced with a weather situation.
Well, I wasn't surprised to hear him say that Eric got caught up in that earlier incident. because I had mentioned that when we saw the 55 car spinning there. Eric was one of the cars that came through just after that. And you know, it's one thing to have the grip under normal circumstances, but when you have to go to the brakes quickly or make some kind of quick move in the rain, you just don't have any time.
It's really a no-win situation, because if somebody's spinning in front of you, you have to get on the brakes to slow down. But once you're on the brakes, you totally lose control. So we're remaining under a full course yellow here at Road Atlanta.
You can hear the crew chief. You can hear the crew chief telling Andy Pilgrim over the radio what's going on.
There is the restart. Once again, the laps counting down, but this is a time race. It's not a lap count race, it's a time race. Andy Pilgrim back there in 12th position. See the spray of the water with the marbles on the high side, the spray of the water, and all these drivers are out there on the tires that they actually started the race, the shaved DOT approved tires. We'll take a look at your top 20, the make of car. And once again, a few years ago, we had a lot of Firebirds. Now we're seeing a lot of Fords, so a changing of the guard.
Yeah, the Mustangs have really come on strong. You see the 11th place car, the 81 BMW 328 sports class, 11th place overall. That's a very good performance.
And look at this. Murray is starting to close the gap now. We're going to have a battle right now for the lead. There is second place, David Murray in number 3. He's won 9 times in the Speedvision Cup competition for the stock sports cars. 40-year-old from Lilburn, Georgia.
Yeah, and as I said, don't bet against David Murray on this racetrack. He knows this racetrack very well. He's as good as anyone in these cars, and do not bet against him. He'll be very quick.
There's like some smoke back there from perhaps a tailgate party. So right now he is in the spray of Terry Borcheller. So Mustang leads it. Pontiac runs in second.
And this is where, I'm sorry, Gary, we talked earlier in the race about how the Pontiacs have not been as quick. I think the quickest Pontiac on the grid was 8th or 9th, but in the rain, it really equalizes things. Horsepower doesn't matter, braking ability doesn't matter as much. It's more a driver's situation in the wet, and that's why I think we've seen this Pontiac come up to the front, because it's being well driven. You see David getting on some standing water there and actually losing quite a bit of time, losing 2 or 3 car lengths.
Woohoo! Speaking of losing time, off the course.
Yeah, that was a BMW M3 right there in turn 1 going off the course, and that's a very quick part of the racetrack, and that car is pretty badly banged up.
So will this prompt another full course yellow? We were about to say that we think the first 2 cars can go the distance without another stop.
Yeah, that is a BMW feature there, those 4-way flashers. He did not put those on. BMWs, when you crash them, when the car senses a hard hit, the 4-way flashers come on automatically. And there you go, he's turned them off now. And that car is a ways off the racetrack, but not in a particularly good place.
Yeah, it's right off, what, turn 1? Well, he went straight off the course there.
And skipped right through that pea gravel, and just...
Despite the tires, that was a solid impact.
The interesting part is the right side of that car is badly damaged. I wonder if the right side of that car got hit before he even went off the road. And here's the S's. We talked about the water pooling down here. That's a Honda Prelude there in the S's. You know, we've seen today, we've had many full course caution periods, and we've seen that on these restarts there are always problems. Well, the wet weather just amplifies that. You know, there's it's slicker. There's you know, there's less in reserve in the wet in terms of traction and grip, and it's just much easier to get off the road.
There's a look at David Murray again in second position, and Murray looks like he has lost a lot of ground to the leader. I think he was off course as we were watching the happenings outside turn 1 and some other cars off course. We have a full course yellow. Let's take a look at Murray. There is Murray dirt tracking. But we now have a full course yellow, so whatever ground he lost, he'll be able to gain it back under this yellow.
Yeah, well, you can see David is pushing very hard there, and as we understand it, he may be able to go to the end of the race on fuel, and this...
John Kohler is off. There is Gary Smith is in the car now. Kohler's the teammate. Gary Smith in the car, the Zippo number 47. So we have action all over the racetrack, and we have a full course yellow.
And if I were that fellow, I would not stand there.
Get the heck out of there. I think he's trying to get out of there.
He's not doing any good standing there. The driver's fairly safe in that car, and
he's not.
And he's not. He's not very safe at all standing there. And I would just get out of there.
So Smith continues to wait for the emergency crew to arrive. He is okay, but obviously hung up, and we have still another full course yellow in the rain at Road Atlanta. Grand Prix of Atlanta, the Speedvision Cup for the stock sports cars with about 18 minutes left in this 3-hour endurance race. The green flag is coming out after a lengthy yellow, and only one lap car separating first and second. Terry Borcheller in the multicolored number 54 Mustang has the point. Back there in second is that kind of burgundy and yellow number 3 of David Murray.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of action here on these restarts, wet and dry. You can see Borcheller coming over the hill up into turn 3. The lap car, the 92 car in between, and David Murray in the 3 car. And Calvin was down in the pit lane during this yellow, and you can see Borcheller offline a little bit there coming down to the S's. And the general consensus is that the Mustang is a really tough car to drive in the wet. See that Supra, which is a lap car, it's a lap down, is not having any trouble staying with and potentially passing the lead car. So
how interesting.
That car goes back on the lead lap, or certainly gets a lap back.
We thought maybe he would be a problem with Murray trying to get by to get up to the leader, but instead he unlaps himself. Yeah, so now you're Kelly Collins just unlapping himself, and now your leaders are right together on the racetrack. You can see the track starting to dry out just a bit there in the groove.
Yeah, this is the back straight, which is not a big problem, but there are some areas that are still quite a bit wetter on this racetrack, so these guys aren't out of the woods yet.
The driver leading in the sport class and 14th overall, Anthony Lazzaro, actually made a pit stop under that yellow. The windshield wipers are not working on the 81 car, so they put the Rain-X on the windshield so he can finish the last about 16 minutes of this race. And
it looks like David Murray is really tucked up under Borcheller there, and it looks like, yeah, he's pulling out, going into turn 1 here. And this could be a pass for the lead. Yeah, it looks like Murray up the inside.
And you can see also the track was drying out there on that inside line. So he got the inside, moved Borcheller over, and David Murray has the lead. And now with just about 15 minutes to go.
Now, we already saw David Murray off the racetrack once before this yellow. And we saw him also before the yellow with a big slide job in turn 1. So David has made a couple of small mistakes. Put this car up in the lead now, and now it's his job to really be perfect with this car.
Well, his last win was in the rain at Dallas, so not that he likes to run in the rain, but he's very competent in the rain. Right now, there are no lap cars to worry about. In fact, he has a chance to follow a lap car. Start in 11th position.
You can see those wipers. That windshield is not wet. You can see those wipers straining against the windshield there.
Let's go back to the pit lane, Greg.
Well, we just watched that pass for the lead, and of course David Murray behind the wheel of the car. The driver that started it, his name is Bernie Cochran, and his father and team owner is with me right now. You've got to be awfully excited and biting those nails.
Well, I'm a little nervous. You know, we got 20 minutes left here, so it's not over yet, and it's a close race. And right now we're in the lead, but we hope we stay there. But anything can happen. That Mustang's got a lot of power.
Once again, Bernie doing his job beautifully in the opening stint, and you can't really think about a better driver in a car here at Road Atlanta in these kind of conditions than David Murray.
Well, David, you know, he's been an instructor here for years, puts in a lot of time on the track, and we like that he's out there, but you know, these track conditions are tough, but I think I like the rain in Georgia.
All right, he likes the rain in Georgia. Boy, he is just trying not to jinx this in any way, is he? All right, a little bit further down pit lane, let's check in with Cal.
Greg Kemp is the crew chief for Terry Borcheller, and I saw you standing here on the pit wall with your fingers crossed, and at that moment David Murray went down the inside. What does Terry say about the car right now?
That's right. We talked about letting him by. Terry is very good. He's one of the best drivers out there. We talked about letting him by. We want to follow him and set him up. Terry's one of the best in the rain. I tell you, Brad Muller and his whole family helped us out a great deal. Dominic Masseri and his family, just tremendous people to work for, and we're really doing good. So we're just setting them up right now. We feel like we've got a very good chance to win this thing.
Okay, a lot of racing left to go here, guys.
Calvin mentioned earlier about the weight distribution on the Mustang, not good in the rain. Now as the track starts to dry out in the groove, does the Mustang come back and play?
Well, it may. I'm not sure with, on this, you know, about 14 minutes to go here. Oh, here's a big incident here up in turn 3. A lot of cars off the racetrack here, but it looks
Apparently
like,
able to continue on.
Yeah, it looks like we'll be able to get going here. But, you know, with 14 minutes to go, I'm not sure giving up the lead is the right strategy. I think you want to try as hard as possible to keep your car in the lead, stay out front, and maintain the lead. So I'm not sure that's the right strategy.
Make that car as wide as possible.
Sure, you got to make it wide. You got to make it tough to get by. Don't just let the guy by. And you can see, you know, Borcheller is staying with him, but unless it really dries up, he's going to have a hard time.
Once again, the final 15 minutes of a 3-minute time race. The Speedvision Cup for the stock sports cars, and David Murray continues to lead, but a very slight gap. There's the gap between first and second in the waning minutes of this event. Final 10 minutes of this 3-hour endurance grind for the Speedvision Cup stock sports cars, and there you have the leader, David Murray, in a Pontiac. Terry Borcheller now is in second position, but we've had action all over this racetrack, some localized yellows for action like this.
And again, you know, on these restarts, we've seen it every time. You group these cars together, and this is what's going to happen. On the outside there, the BMW, the leader in the sports class. Now, this way in the grass, that is the quick way through turn 4. I can tell you. Just go straight at 3 and you'll end up back on the racetrack.
There's the gap between first and second. Now, David Murray has been off course before, but you can see the change in color of the pavement. With the pavement, the groove is now drying out. And again, we ask, will this play back into the hands of that Mustang? Terry Borcheller back there in second position. You heard the team manager say, we're playing a certain game. We let David Murray by to set him up. Interesting strategy for this late in the race.
Yeah, and
inside turn 1.
Yeah, this is the 79 car, the RX-7, and it looks like he's just parking that car. Now, this is the Toyota Supra that got its lap back on that restart. David's coming up to lap this car. This car at this point, I believe that's Kelly Collins on board. She just really let David go, and you know, let David race for the lead. I think to be working hard, you know, with 9 minutes to go in this race, you know, he's not going to move up. It doesn't matter. That lap doesn't matter at this point. So let David go and let David run this race.
David, of course, looking out in front, also keeping an eye on the mirror to see exactly where that 54 Mustang is of Terry Borcheller.
Yeah, Borcheller and Murray turning lap times within about 1/10 of a second of each other. But if you get caught up in this traffic, that doesn't do you a lot of good. And that's going to really make it difficult for David Murray.
Right now, Randy Popes is back in third position in car number 26. Nick Longy is back in fourth, and Paul Hacker in fifth. And again, we had a shot of Lazzaro going through that melee up there unscathed. He is leading the sports class in 14th position overall. And look at this. They close down at the front of the pack.
Yeah, this is a great race. And behind these guys, the quickest car on the racetrack right now is the 4 car. Which is running laps about a second quicker than these guys. It's about 4 seconds back right now, but this is a great race for the lead.
You saw it close in under the traffic situation. And now David opens up a gap again, but again, some heavy traffic out in front of your leader.
And this is going to be very difficult for David, these closing minutes of this race.
Mazda moves over, but yet Kelly Collins refuses to concede that position on the racetrack. They're not really racing for position.
It looks like Borcheller's making a move. Yeah, Borcheller's up the inside.
And he makes the pass because of traffic.
Yeah, that is a nice clean pass, and you know, David did the right thing. Now the pressure's on Borcheller in the traffic here. You can see David forcing his way through. Look at how small those Miatas look next to those Firebirds.
Of course, Borcheller took the inside groove away from David. David had to let him go. Now see if he can return the favor. As we look now at 7 minutes remaining.
Now, this 4 car has been the quickest car on the racetrack these last few laps. In this traffic, he's now caught right up to these guys, and he is in the thick of this race. I believe that's Don Knowles in that 4 car, the Pontiac Firebird. And look at the traffic these leaders are having to deal with here. Knowles is a phenomenal endurance racer. Many endurance wins, 24-hour, 12-hour, all sorts of race wins. It looks like he's making a bid here to take second place from David Murray.
And he pulls to the inside, and there is the pass.
So the question is now, Don Knowles, having been the quickest guy on the racetrack, can he bridge this gap up to Terry Borcheller? Look at this poor Nissan, one on each side.
There's the battle there for second position. Don Knowles, a 50-year-old, 5 times he's won in this division. He has 14 wins in 24-hour races.
Yeah, he's been phenomenal in 24-hour races. Now, in the back of this shot,
is there contact right there? It looked like it was almost contact.
yeah, there could have been a little bit of contact there.
Kelly Collins and Dave Murray.
Well, it looks like David is fading a little bit here. Looks like David is fading just a little bit.
Don Knowles continues to apply the pressure. There is your leader, and right behind, look at Knowles.
Yeah,
you indicated a couple of laps earlier, he was like a second a lap quicker, and now he has caught the leader in traffic.
He is right there. So now, the pressure that was on David Murray 2 laps ago is now on Terry Borcheller in this Mustang. And look at the traffic up ahead here. This is unbelievable.
Don Knowles turned 50 on April 12th, so he just did turn 50. And we're going to have a 3-way shootout here because David's going to be right back in it because of traffic. He's going to catch up. And look at the traffic jam in front of the leader.
Well, and look at Don Knowles. He got the big high shot out of the corner. He got the best line, and he's got some speed. Now, these Mustangs are very, very quick, but you can see he's in the draft, and he pulls up alongside.
Oh, look at this. He's up there in the wet. Borcheller stays down in the dry. They'll make a sandwich out of somebody.
Look at that, Knowles.
And look at that pass.
Phenomenal. Yeah, just phenomenal.
Knowles, car number 4, is taking the lead after starting in 15th position. Let's see now if Borcheller has anything left in the final 4 minutes of this event.
Yep, he ducks to the inside. Oh, no, can't make that stick.
Now a 3-hour event with a number of full course yellows coming down to the final few laps between these two, and maybe add David Murray to that shootout as they continue to gingerly lap back markers.
Yeah, these lap times are really coming down now. They're not far off what they're doing in the dry. So they're only about 3 or 4 or 5 seconds off what they're doing in the dry. So
and Murray is not in the picture now, so apparently a 2-car shootout. Don Knowles continues to lead Terry Borcheller in the waning moments here at Road Atlanta. The leader spins. The leader spins right in front of Borcheller, and now he loses second position to Dave Murray.
yeah, I think our leader got tapped there. I think he got tapped headed to the apex of 7 there. That is not like Don Knowles to spin a car, and I think he got tapped. I can't say for sure because we didn't see it. We just saw him spinning.
Just under 3 minutes. And this could give the victory to the 54 Mustang as Borcheller was able to go by. Now watch right here.
Well,
we couldn't see if he got tapped or not there.
We couldn't see there, but look at the front of Borcheller's car.
that would seem to indicate there was a slight nerf.
Yeah, and you can see some debris there as well. You can see some debris just kind of floating around in the air. And you see all that stuff? And look at the left front corner of Borcheller's car. I think there was a little contact there. And Don Knowles, that's not like Don Knowles to spin a car.
Some pretty heavy circumstantial evidence, although we didn't actually see the contact. So it looks like Borcheller may be on his way to victory in now the final 2 minutes and some 15 seconds of this event.
I wonder if that's what they mean when he said set him up.
Let him pass so you can nerf him out of the way. Well, you can see at the top of the screen there just a moment ago, you can see the number 3 car of David Murray, but I have to wonder if David has anything left now for Borcheller. The track drying out, the Mustang handling better, and the white flag will be displayed this time by for Terry Borcheller.
Well, I think the most interesting interview after this race will probably be Don Knowles. See what he has to say. I mean, he's a very nice guy, very, fairly soft-spoken guy. And has always, let his driving speak for him. And, he's not one to, he would certainly never hit anyone. And who knows? Borcheller was trying to get by a lap car there, and he might just have misjudged his speed into the corner, and that's why he tapped him.
White flag out the final lap, and Terry trying to pick up his first ever win in this division. Twice before he's finished in the top 10. He's only had 8 starts total since 1995, so this will be his first victory if he can complete the last half of lap. He still has the windshield wipers on with the rain stop some time back, and he has no one out in front to contend with.
No, it looks like he's pretty much been able to get clear of most of the traffic.
Scooter Gable, his team driver, started this race from the 13th position. Borcheller will pick up his first victory in the Speedvision Cup. There's a look at second place David Murray.
Yeah, David has his hands full with the 26 car, which is trying to take that second place. So I don't think we're going to see David bridging that gap up to the lead, because he has got his hands full.
Randy Popes, he was our expert analyst last year, I think, into Texas. Enjoyed working with Randy, and he went on to win a touring car championship. And right now, he is in a battle for second position on the last lap of this 3-hour event. So Borcheller well out in front now.
I saw just a little bit of a brake light hit there. He's just checking to make sure he's got good brakes. You know he's going to make a run up here.
Well, here comes your leader, soon to be your winner through turn 12, and the checkered flag along the front straightaway for Terry Borcheller. Borcheller and Scooter Gable taking the victory here this afternoon. There's Scooter, and there's the happy crew. And did, in fact, Randy did get around. It looked like Randy did get second position on the final, perhaps, turn of this racetrack. A wild afternoon here at Road Atlanta with a number of full course yellows. But there is your winner, and there's the happy crew as we'll come back and salute the champion here this afternoon as Terry Borcheller takes the victory. Speedvision Cup for stock sports cars has been brought to you by Porsche, who wishes to remind you there is no substitute. And by Need for Speed 2 from Electronic Arts. How fast do you want to go? And now let's take a look at a full course rundown. Once again, Terry Borcheller took the victory with his teammate Scooter Gable. A late race tap of Don Knowles while Knowles was in the lead. But Borcheller takes his first victory. It was the first for Scooter as well. As we show you the entire field rundown, we can tell you the sports class was won by Anthony Lazzaro and Mike Fitzgerald. In the touring class, it was Bill Pate and Joe Nonamaker, their third straight victory in that class. And in the compact class, well, experience counted. 111, the combined ages of Peter Schwartzott and Joe Danaher. For Peter, it was his 16th victory. And for Joe, it was his 11th. We can tell you the margin of victory, only 1.6 seconds after 3 hours of racing. And that is the closest finish ever in this class here at Road Atlanta, and the 10th closest finish overall in the 13-year history of this series. Now from here, of course, they load up. They have some time off until May the 31st, and these drivers will head up to New York, upstate New York at Watkins Glen, part of the first Union 6 hours of the Glen, and that will be a 3-hour event. So once again, our congratulations to Terry Borcheller, who is celebrating in Victory Lane, along with his teammate Scooter Gable. And it was that last late race bump that put Borcheller in the lead and knocked Don Knowles out of the lead. At the time, he was leading with some inadvertent contact up there in the turn 6, turn 7 area. So let's now send you down to a very jubilant Victory Lane, where Greg Creamer is standing by with Terry Borcheller and a not too happy Don Knowles.
Well, obviously very happy down here in Victory Circle. The winner, Terry Borcheller, a great drive, came from fairly deep in the pack. It's always satisfying.
I tell you what, it feels really good. I just want to thank the Lord Jesus Christ, because he's the reason why we're here. And Dominic Massari and Brad Muller, the owners, they put a heck of a car together. The crew down at Bay Area Automotive, and Kimmons and Landmark Homes, Cash Creed, I tell you, they really helped us out this weekend. They've been helping us all year, and just fantastic. It was an awesome drive. Felt good. Felt good.
Looked good, absolutely. Don Knowles, another great drive up through the back of the pack, into the lead, then a little spin, and I noticed he apologized to you. What happened?
Well, Greg, it's a good thing you were between us there for a minute, because I want to talk to Terry a little bit. We had a great race, got a good car. The last 15 minutes was as exciting as any racing can be. Terry did a great job, but my car got great launches out of turn 7. I could pass people down the straightaway. It's not horsepower. It's good handling. But in any case, he got into me, spun me around. I did a 360, finished 4th. I would like to thank my crew, Rob Walton, all the guys, Bernie Cochran, and I'm sure Terry and I will work it out, but I sure did hate, because I was in cruise mode. I had this race won. I was gone. Color me history.
Oh, you did a great job. Congratulations, and enjoy it nonetheless. Let's go down to Calvin. He's got 3 other happy winners.
Okay, I got the 3 other division winners here, and first and foremost, we've got Anthony Lazaro. I thought you were going to jump out and fix those wipers yourself, Anthony. I know you're a part-time BMW mechanic.
I'll tell you what, we had a little problem with the wipers, but Mike Fitzgerald turned the car over to me in the lead, and the guys from Franz Blom Racing, they took care of my windshield for me, so we brought the BMW home in first place, and that's my job.
Congratulations, and the winner in touring was Bill Pate, along with his co-drivers there. Bill, great run today.
Yeah, we got very lucky. It was a battle of survival out there, and the Planet Earth Subway Mazda MX-6 came through like a champ. We were very, very lucky, as each person standing here was, because it was just a matter of the good Lord watching over us and got us here.
And last but not least, Peter Schwartzer. A great battle there in the last 3 or 4 laps, Peter, but you brought it home.
What a battle it was. It was a great race. The weather was great in terms of drama, and I want to thank my son. It's his first win as my crew chief, a family affair. So this, and Honda for all their help. Thank you very much.
Great job today.
Thank you.
Taking a look now at the point standings in the GS division. Once again, Jason Priestley and teammate Andy Pilgrim, who now has 92 races without a DNF. And they're up by 6 points over Bernie Cochran and teammate David Murray. And with that win, Terry Borcheller now goes to 5th in the point standings. So once again, Mother Nature playing a role here. This weekend, we had rain and torrential rain last year and rain in the forecast, and we got it this afternoon, which made for some very interesting and very slick conditions on the racetrack. For Jeremy Dale, Calvin Fish, and Greg Creamer, I'm Gary Lee. Thanks for joining us. So long from Road Atlanta.